What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Fallout 76 video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my OP melee build that sort of focuses on high damage, kind of like a bloody build would, but with this build you don't have to worry about your health 24/7 like a bloody build would, and you don't really get killed as often as you would with a bloody build. If you guys are looking for some dope Fallout 76 items such as legendary weapons for this build, you can always check out U4GM, link will be in the description. And finally, if you guys do go on to enjoy this video, please consider subscribing, it helps out the channel a lot. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Alright, so starting the video off, we're going to be going over the build itself. This is the Nukes and Dragons special planner for Fallout 76. If you guys want to experiment with this and use it, I will put the link to it in the description. It's super helpful for making builds. But starting off, we're going to be putting 15 points into strength. Obviously, this is a melee build, but the first perk we're going to unlock is Slugger, and it is unlocked at level 6. And obviously, we want this at level 3, just because we're going to be investing in a lot of high damage, slow melee weapons. Moving on to the next perk, we want to take a look at Martial Artist. You want to look for this one. It is unlocked at level 16, and when upgraded to level 3, you can now swing your melee weapons 30% faster, and on top of that, they're going to be 60% lighter. The next perk we want to look at is Expert Slugger. This is unlocked at level 24. This is just like normal Slugger, but we're just wanting to stack as much damage onto our melee weapons as we can. Just like the last one, when upgraded to level 3, your weapons now do 20% more damage. The next perk we want is Incisor. This is unlocked at level 34, and when upgraded to level 3, this is going to allow you to ignore 75% of the target's armor whenever you hit them with a melee weapon. The final perk that we want to invest in is Master Slugger. This is unlocked at level 48, and just like the last ones, this is going to be increasing our damage output by 20% with two-handed weapons. Moving on to Perception, this one's really easy and it's sort of your preference. Now, depending on what gun you actually want to use, you can invest into those certain perks. So for this instance, I wanted to use automatic weapons, so I invested into Commando, Expert Commando, and Master Commando. But I later on did decide that I wanted to actually invest in their Rifleman and switched them out. Now, this is all your preference. I highly recommend keeping an actual ranged weapon on you at all times whenever using a melee build, just because whenever you're fighting Scorch Beast Queens or other enemies that are really elusive like this, it's very, beneficial for you, and honestly just easier to try to take them out with some sort of powerful ranged weapon like this explosive handmade. For Endurance, the first perk, you sort of have a choice. You can invest this into pretty much any one you want to. I like Aqua Boy, so that I don't take Rads in Water. You can always change this out for Slow Metabolizer. Anything you really want, this is your choice for this first perk. The next perk we want to unlock, though, is unlocked at level 22. This is Solar Powered, and when upgraded to level 3, you can then gain +3 to your strength and endurance between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. The final perk for Endurance we want is Radical. This is unlocked at level 38, and the greater your rads, the greater your strength. So this can give you up to 5 extra strength, so you can see this is going to be greatly increasing your damage. Now, moving on to Charisma, the first perk we want to invest in is Lone Wanderer. This is unlocked at level 4, and when upgraded to level 4, when adventuring you take 20% less damage and you gain 30% more AP regen. Moving on, we want to look for Travel Agent. This is unlocked at level 26, and with this, you pay 30% less caps whenever you fast travel. So, this is a preference perk, but I love having this, and I'm sure a lot of you guys think this is useful as well. Finally, we want to upgrade Tenderizer to level 3. It is unlocked at level 46, and with this perk, you can make your target receive 7% more damage for 10 seconds after you attack them. Moving on to Intelligence, the first perk we want to look for is Makeshift Warrior. This is unlocked at level 9, and now, when upgraded to level 5, your melee weapons will break 50% slower, and you can now have access to tier 5 melee weapons, but you will have to have the plans for those if you do want to craft those. I pretty much just use it for the longer weapon duration. The final perk for Intelligence is personally a preference for me because I use Power Armor for this build, but this is unlocked at level 50, and it is called Power User, and if you upgrade this to level 3, you can now have your Fusion Cores have a double duration, so they last, double the amount of time that they normally would. Onto Agility, the first perk we want to invest in is Action Boy or Girl, depending on your character. This is unlocked at level 2, and when you upgrade this to level 3, your action points regenerate 45% faster. Moving on is Born Survivor. This is unlocked at level 3. We want this at level 1 just so that whenever we fall below 20% health, we will automatically use a stim pack once every 20 seconds. This is incredibly useful for whenever you combine this with that Radical perk. If you want to have some high rads and get a higher damage, you don't have to worry about dying 24/7. Up next, you want to look for Marathoner. This is unlocked at level 13, and you want to upgrade this to level 3, because this is going to allow you to get 40% fewer action point consumption whenever you are sprinting. If you don't do a lot of running, by all means, don't use this perk. Switch it out for something else that you would rather have, but I always run around a lot. The 5 remaining points we want to put towards Adrenaline. This is unlocked at level 49, and when upgraded to level 5, you gain 10% damage for every kill you get in a 30-second duration, with a cap of 60%, but that is still an insane amount of damage increase. Moving on to Luck, this is probably one of the ones you want to use later in your game, because this is going to help you keep your mutations, but this is obviously Starch Genes. When upgraded to level 2, you will never mutate from your mutations, so if you get a really good one such as Marsupial, which is amazing for this build, you want to make sure that you hold on to that and do not lose it. So using Starch Genes is a great way to keep all your beneficial mutations. And for the last perk, finally guys, we want to invest into Bloody Mess. This is unlocked at level 42, and when upgraded to level 3, you gain 15% bonus damage, which means enemies have a chance to explode into a red gory paste, which is always great. Here is a still shot of the entire build itself overall. Told you want to put 15 points into Strength, 3 into Perception, 5 into Endurance, 8 into Charisma, 8 into Intelligence, 12 into Agility, and lastly 5 into Luck. You guys can screenshot this, do whatever you want with it. I don't really care. I just thought it could probably be helpful. This next part of the video, I'm going to sort of dedicate to the weapons that I use for this build that I perfected that works best for me. So I understand these are kind of rare, but if you guys can get your hand on any variant of any kind of these weapons, pretty much any slow melee weapon is going to work really good for this build. But firstly, I use this Instigating Sledgehammer. It also has an additional, 40% swing speed. So if you combine that with a martial artist, you swing it so fast. So with just the base damage without any adrenaline buffs or anything on this, it's going to be doing a base of 469 damage. Combine this with the Radical and the Adrenaline and Bloody Mess, everything, you do an insane amount of damage, guys. The next weapon I like to keep on me is this bloodied Grognak Axe. Now, the reason I keep this on me is I said it wasn't really much of a bloodied build, but if you combine this, the stats of bloodied and Radical together, they sort of kind of just combine and make an insanely overpowered weapon. I mean, not to mention, this thing's insane already. It's bloodied with a 40% faster swing speed and gives you +1 agility as well. Right now, as a base damage, it's doing 712 damage. Granted, it is adding solar power to it, but combine this, it does an insane amount of damage with adrenaline buffs and everything to it. You're going to be pretty much one-shotting every enemy you run into. Finally, the sort of crown jewel weapon I carry on me is this 2-shot, handmade rifle that is also explosive as well. Now, this can come automatic or semi-automatic. I mentioned how I did a commando build, but I actually switched it off for rifleman and made this thing semi-auto, which I think kind of helped me because I don't use as much ammo, so I don't have to carry a ton of 5.56 on me. I don't like carrying, bandolier on a strength character because it takes out of, a lot of special stats that I could be using. So I just want to keep a few, 5.56. This thing's explosive already. It does 322 damage a shot. There's no reason I need it to be fully automatic. Just blow through all the rounds I have. Some of you may be surprised that I only keep 3 weapons on me, but I found that when you carry, 6, 7 on you, it really does take up so much weight, and really, Fallout 76 is all about trying to conserve your inventory size because, the stash is only 600, and you can only carry so much ammo and all that stuff on you. I think that carrying, only 3 weapons keeps it really light, so you have more space to actually carry more meds, such as stim packs and other things that's going to help you in battle so you don't die all the time. With this build, you can use power armor, which I suggest using, but if you don't want to, you definitely don't have to. As you can see, I'm holding my own against all these mole miners right here, really no problem. As you can see, my rads are really high, which isn't really intentional. I'm not trying to keep my health really low. It's just the thing is, whenever I'm in battle, inevitably your health is going to go down, so why not have your damage go up as it goes down? That only makes sense, right? So once your health goes down to below 20%, your Born Survivor comes up, helps you out. You never really have to pay attention to your health. With these bloodied builds, all the time you're constantly having to sit there and look at your HP and making sure you're not going to die because, your health's only at 10%, so you can get maximum damage. But that being said, that's pretty much all I really have for this video, guys. I do want to mention one more thing, and that is the giveaway I mentioned on Friday. So the whole thing with that was my character did get banned that had those weapons on them, so I won't really be able to give away those weapons anymore because obviously I don't have them. So, feel free to unfollow the Twitter if you followed it expecting to get a giveaway. I completely understand. I wasn't expecting that to happen. I had never done any glitches on that character, which is really weird because it said I got banned for doing the duplication glitch. It's all good. I don't really care that much, but I apologize that I was not able to give away those weapons. I'm going to try to get some more of those weapons again to do another giveaway and hopefully actually be able to give them away. It really sucks that happened, but, I can't really do anything about it. But hopefully you guys still enjoyed this video. If at any point in time you did find it helpful or just enjoyed it, make sure you guys like and subscribe. But if you're feeling generous, make sure you turn on notifications so that you can get a notification to be here first for all of the new Fallout 76 content that is soon to come out, hopefully. So without wasting any more of your guys' time, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.